We apologize for this brief interruption in the show. As many of you likely know, the Higher Standard podcast is officially sponsored by Transcend Company. Transcend has been my longtime provider for both testosterone and peptide therapies, but they offer so much more. Whether you're interested in health, wellness, or longevity, it all begins with you getting your blood work done. A lab draw will help you get the numbers and establish your baseline. You can go to transcendcompany.com/THSP. That's transcendcompany.com/THSP. Or you can click the link in the show notes on any streaming platform and on YouTube. Fill out your information and one of the representatives will contact you to get your journey started today. Now back to the show.
What day is it today, Christopher?
Motherfucking rate cut day!
It's rate cut day, baby!
Yes!
You know what time it is?
It's rate cut day.
God, it was such a good day.
I literally was walking on the office ahead of the rate cut, clapping, screaming, "Happy rate cut day!"
Yeah.
"Happy rate cut day to you, sir!"
Right.
And people thought I was just being a wild asshole.
I mean, there's so many like layers to this onion that we need to peel back.
Yeah, you know when you go to like a Middle Eastern restaurant and they give you that raw onion, and there's that old dude in the corner that just peels off one layer at a time and eats it with his food, and everyone's like, "God damn, bro!"
Yeah.
And he comes out just smelling all oniony and shit afterward, but he's happy as fuck. That's gonna be us.
You know, I've grown an appreciation for that onion.
I have too.
And even the tomato.
The tomato I've always had appreciation for as long as it's burnt right.
Right.
But
Charred.
yeah, charred. It's gotta have that texture.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do the squishy texture, but
Yeah.
there's a certain amount of I don't give a fuck when you peel back an onion that you have to accept.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like,
you know your hands are gonna smell like that.
Honestly, yeah, and the group that you're with, you're like, fuck all you guys tonight. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this onion.
Y'all motherfuckers better eat this shit too, because it's the only way you're not gonna smell it later. So welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. Sitting next to me, my partner in time, the also onion-eating motherfucker you know as Saied Omar.
Thank you, my man. Sitting next to me on my left, my partner in crime, Chris Nahibi. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
And the Kubidet eating bastard in the back, the guy who likes that sausage-shaped meat.
You were so excited to get that joke off. By the way, true story. Wait, go ahead and introduce him.
Oh, yeah, that's Haroon.
Yeah, DJ Haroon.
DJ Haroon.
Bing, 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 bing. True story. So back in the day, I used to say that my basketball nickname was Onion.
Onion?
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Haroon. Gotcha, that was for you.
Because I made the defense cry.
Yep.
Sit on that.
It was a terrible joke.
Yeah.
Back then and now.
That was good, though.
So we wanted to get right into the show with the amazing and astonishing. I did not see 50 basis points, but that's what we got in a rate cut today.
Yeah, that screams, we may have fucked up. We're sorry. Let's try to get out ahead of this.
Yeah. You know something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're like, shit, pull the brake.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that dad driving with the student driver, right? Brake, hit the brakes, hit the brakes.
Only one of the 11 Fed members actually dissented, first time since 2005, and the dissenting opinion was, hey, we only need 25 basis points. All the rest of them were like, we need 50, like now.
Yeah, exactly. We should have started cutting in July.
Which just goes to show you, and the stoic nature of Jerome Powell at the press conference. I don't know, did you watch it?
Bits and pieces, yeah.
All right, so in my office all day long, I mean, this was my Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Right?
Right.
This is my LeBron James.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was stepping onto the court.
We've been waiting a long time for this moment. I mean, it's
so Jerome Powell came out,
yeah,
iPad in hand, which is tantamount to the baby powder.
right?
He just slaps it together. He rubs it, throws it up in the air.
Yeah.
50 basis points. Whew.
Man.
You know it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, exactly.
He gives his speech, his prepared remarks, and he's so off.
You can tell.
His iPad computer thing in front of him, he dropped it. And the first question that he's being asked, the guy from CNBC asked it, and he's still fumbling the bag in front of everybody, just trying to get his bearings. And then he's like, I'll try to answer as many of those questions, because the guy's supposed to answer one question. He asked like 3.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you could just tell, like, holy shit, these guys are rattled.
Yeah. There's a couple of times where he got a couple questions served to him where he actually responded, "That's not my responsibility."
Yeah.
That's not
Affordable housing? That's not us.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, but it kind of is though. But it kind of is. It plays right in the hand of inflation. I mean, it's a huge component.
And he dodged that question. He got asked.
Yeah, he did.
He got asked a number of times about affordable housing, and he was like, yeah, we would expect that would be fixed over the long run if things worked out the way they were supposed to. Just throwing in a word salad. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah. Throwing it out there.
Exactly.
And nothing he said actually responded to anybody. And then finally got to the point where he's like, that's not us.
Right. So what do you think? Do you think we give a quick little brief backstory here? I know we have a lot of listeners that have been tuning in since the beginning of the show, but we should also maybe give a quick little breakdown as to how we even got here, right?
Something tells me you're prepared to do this.
No, I mean, I wanted to be thoughtful about this, right? Like, Clearly we're getting a lot of new listeners on every episode, so let's give a quick little breakdown of what this even means, right? So today was a big day because the Fed decided to cut their Fed funds rate. What is the Fed funds rate? That's the rate at which banks borrow money from the central bank overnight, right? Why that matters is because if they're borrowing money at higher interest rates, they're charging you higher interest rates for things like mortgages, things like car loans, things like credit card debt, right? The interest rate against your credit cards, things of that nature. So it basically costs more to borrow overall.
But don't fall for the social media bullshit. There was a lot of people on social media doing what social media does, throwing out convenient disinformation to help their own cause. We're going to dispel with a lot of that bullshit, and I'm going to explain to you why the common rhetoric you're hearing of how this is going to help the mortgage market might actually be wrong.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to definitely get into that. So if we all can recall back during 2020 up through 2021, 2022, after all the stimmies were handed out, inflation got out of hand, right? The Fed themselves thought that the problem that we were facing was transitory. It was gonna come and go, right?
Inflation's transitory.
Yeah, it's just that there's high prices now, but they're gonna come right back down. It's gonna be fine.
2 years later.
2 years later. Nope.
4 years later.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, they thought it was a supply chain issue, but it wasn't just that. So that got out of hand. So what the Fed needed to do, they raised the rates. They raised the rates so that they could try to slow the economy down. Unfortunately for them, it took them 11 rate hikes over the course of 16 months, okay, which got us to the Fed funds rate of 5.5%.
Yep.
They decided to hold that rate for over a year, a little bit more than 12 months.
But let's explain something right now, okay? Because I think there is it doesn't matter how old you are. I don't know if just people generally forgot or if they just didn't appreciate it. The 2.5-3% mortgage market, that shit ain't normal, man. Average rates are somewhere between 7 to 8% for a mortgage. And having this type of economic volatility where you get rate cuts from time to time, you get rate increases from time to time.
Right.
It's a lot more fluid than holding and increasing rates for 16 months.
Absolutely.
That's a weird market. But what people forgot was we were living in a massively artificially deflated market for a prolonged period of time. We saw 14 years of artificial interest rate deflation, which led into this. So, of course, it was going to take a long-ass time to increase fiscal policy in the Fed funds rate to get to a point where we started to see inflation go the other way. And then when it did, everybody was scared to shit to make a move to try to cut rates because the last thing they wanted to do was come back up.
Right.
And they knew that things were so deflated for so long that was a real risk.
Right.
Did they hold it for too long at high rates? Well, I mean, a 50 basis point cut was a pretty big cut. That may be the case.
Exactly. So theoretically speaking, when the Fed does raise their rates as high as they did, it should deter consumers from going out and spending, right? It should deter people from wanting to get, mortgages.
But when you give them stimmies and they got all this extra money in their pocket, it doesn't deter much.
Right. Or there's other factors that are in play here. I mean, people have parents that now have a lot of equity in their homes that they're now getting, help from. That's what's definitely driving up some home prices there. But theoretically speaking, spending should have pulled back. Unfortunately, that doesn't take into account, economic behavior, right? So people get used to spending, they want to maintain their lifestyles, and you can see how they're making their ends meet by still using their credit cards. That's why credit card debt is now at an all-time high.
1.14 trillion?
I think, definitely north of that, maybe even. So now what the Fed did today was they decided to finally cut, reaching the third phase of this cycle, right? They cut 50 basis points because now they want to slowly begin to incentivize borrowing again.
But if they were confident they did the right thing, they got to the right point, they would not have started with 50 basis points.
No, because if it was a slow, gradual process up, right, think about it, 16 months to raise it 11 times, right? Yes, there's definitely several times in there where they increased it 75 basis points because they really were trying to slow it down. But it still took 16 months, and then they held it. That means for 12 months, they were confident with where they were, right? You would think the natural progression back down if they wanted to stick a quote-unquote soft landing was let's cut 25 and let's just see what happens. I mean, we predicted on the show that it was going to be 25 based on their own rhetoric, that they were happy with what they've been able to accomplish so far.
Well, and the rhetoric they had today was almost a complete 180 from what they were saying before. He basically said the jobs numbers were bullshit and they were reporting wrong.
Yes.
He also went on to say that housing numbers are very, very lagging and the actual housing market is very different than we're seeing. Yet that has been the leading drag on inflation being above 2% because housing shelter has been pulling that up.
Right.
So it's like, wait a minute, all the things you said you were confident in and you were seeing progress in, you now are saying are bullshit. And then to make matters worse, the Yahtzee, the punch right in the ding-ding to America was, oh, and by the way, we're now predicting, according to the dot plot, potentially another 50 basis point increase before year end, decrease before year end.
And that was exactly the next point that we were going to get into, right?
Yeah.
So every 3 meetings or so, right, every quarter, I should say, they release this thing called the Summary of Economic Projections.
SEP.
And that fluctuates. It could change from meeting to every time they release it. The last meeting, they had predicted that there would have only been 1 rate cut by through the end of the year with 3 remaining meetings, right? Now we got this one, and we have, I think there's still 2 meetings remaining. They had 1 rate cut today, and they're predicting at least another 50 basis points down.
Which is a wild departure from what they were saying before.
Yeah, that's a complete 180.
To me, you're saying, shit, we fucked up. Cut rates now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't just come out the gate swinging 50 basis points. That's like you stepping up to the plate and you're swinging big. First swing. I don't care what you're throwing, what pitch you're throwing. I'm swinging for the fences.
Yeah, you went full Diddy freak-off party.
Oh,
I had to pull soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's 11 minutes. We've waited long enough.
I'll pause the freak-off till now, okay?
Yeah. That's foreshadowing. You're a professional, bro.
Can we just say one thing that we need to talk about later in the show? I don't want to do this now.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing.
Haroon, I need you to look this up in the background, okay? Because there has to be some limit. There has to be a number, brother, and I don't know what this number is, and maybe you can find it with doing some research while we're talking here.
I know where you're going, and I completely agree with you.
If you're buying 1,000 bottles of lube, okay?
Don't call it lube, though, because it's not lube.
Baby oil / lube?
No, baby oil being used as lube.
There's a lot of things, okay? If you're buying that much of a mass quantity and you're not a retail store, when does somebody call the FBI?
Yeah.
Like, where's the trigger? Because I can't pull out $10,000 in cash without triggering a CTR.
Right. I mean, well, like, if you're a business, a CTR.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to go to the bank and they're going to file a currency transaction report on me for pulling out $10,000 in cash, what are you doing with this cash, Chris?
Yeah.
Where did this money come from that you're depositing today? I mean, there's a whole different $10,000. But I can go out and buy 1,000 bottles of lube?
Right.
And no one says anything to the FBI?
That's crazy. I bet you even the what are those agencies that are hosting all those physique competitions? What's like the biggest one? They're not even buying 1,000 bottle of lube.
Agencies.
Yeah, what are they called?
The IFBB.
Yeah, the IFBB.
International Federation of Bodybuilding.
Yeah, them, right?
Sounds Russian, right?
With the pro cards, they're not buying 1,000 bottles of baby oil, bro.
They're just using cooking oil, spraying you in the back. Seriously, you think I'm joking? They use cooking oil? Cooking spray sometimes.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they use cooking spray like Pam.
Damn, I got a story. I remember one back in the day when I used to go to one of those big box gyms. One of those guys that does those competitions was at the in front of the mirrors, in front of the dumbbells, and he was putting baby oil on. He didn't care, bro. He took his shirt off, and he was doing no fucks, right?
I mean, you got to practice.
So and he's standing there, like, working on some poses, clearly.
Titty pops?
Bro, this is back in the day.
Pop, pop, pop,
by the way,
pop.
this is back in the day where people had headphones, and then they had the CD player in the back pocket.
Oh, the wired ones?
Yeah, the wired ones. This is old school, right?
Yeah.
Kids don't know about that. One of my buddies who was, pretty jacked at the time for someone, he'd been lifting consistently for about 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, he was on D-ball back in the day, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Terrible. Goes up to him. He's like, hey, man, I really want to learn from you. Like, he doesn't have the frame to be that guy, first of all, right? Mm-hmm. So the guy quickly picked up on it. He asked him, he goes, how can I be like you? I want to eventually become like you. And he's putting baby oil on. He's flexing from the mirror. He just looks at him. Bro, the hardest look goes, you can't. And then he went right back to posing.
Hey, man. At least someone's being honest.
He's honest.
I once saw an interview of Arnold Schwarzenegger being interviewed about Sylvester Stallone, and someone's like, "Do you think you could be a professional bodybuilder?" And Arnold goes, "No."
No. It's good. It's honest.
And he meant it though. And then he went on to explain. He was like, "Look, like he looks good on camera.
Yeah.
He's a small guy who put on a lot of muscle mass. He's great for film.
Yeah.
He's like, I look too big on camera. I had to slim down."
Yeah.
He's like, but you're talking two completely different things.
There's something about a short and like direct response that I can appreciate. Why does every response need to be so like
'Cause
eloquent
it's so
and,
definitive.
and elaborate? Just be like, no, yes, this is what you need to do. Like it's not that hard.
Definitiveness shuts you down. Like it'd be different if someone was like Jerome Powell. Hey, Jerome, do you think the war against inflation is over? No.
No. Yeah, that's it. Just get straight to it, right? Or it's
Because
like,
then someone's like, shit, did I ask a stupid question? Why was it such a short answer?
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Or is that clear and obvious? Hey, Chris and Saied, I'd like to make a lot of money over the course of my lifetime. What should I do? Dollar cost averaging low index funds. Easy.
Oh, I got a better one. You're not that kind of guy.
No. Oh, yeah, just look them up and down. You can just tell it ain't for you, bro.
You need a W-2.
Yeah.
Elitist financial jokes. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Get back to the Fed cut side.
So getting back to the cut, right? So historically, the rate cuts have been good for the markets, right?
See, I disagree with this. I know that this is what, if you look it up online, this is what it says.
Yes.
Historically, rate cuts in normalized economies have been good for the market.
Right.
However, historically, rate cuts after prolonged periods like this that we've seen have been bad. They've almost always led to recessions.
Right. And I know you pulled something on here that you wanted to bring up on the show.
Yeah, I just seen this. I kind of always known that, but this guy quantified it in a really good way. Let's actually look at that quote. So this is it. This is from Geiger Capital. The last two times the Fed's first cut was 50 plus basis points or more, and for those of you who are uninitiated, that's 0.5%.
Yes.
Right. January 3rd of 2001, the S&P fell approximately 39% over the course of the next 448 days. That's almost a year and a half, okay?
Yes.
Unemployment rose another 2.1%, and we had a little thing called a recession.
That's what happens, right? So the recession, unemployment generally peaks after a recession's been declared over.
Yeah.
Right? So we got to still go through this whole recessionary phase, and then unemployment will still have to peak.
And the second time it happened, September 18th, little date, 2007, might ring some bells. Some alarms might be going off there.
I remember
the
that.
height of the great financial crisis. The S&P 500 fell approximately 54% over the next 372 days, approximately a year. Unemployment rose another 5.3%.
Right.
And we had a little thing known as a recession.
Right. So, this is damning evidence right here, okay? So
Yeah.
you're 100% right. And the key caveat, the key detail about this was the last two times the Fed first cut with 50 basis points, okay? Because I had a chart too. I don't know if it made it into the show notes. I can definitely plug it in later. Is there anything under this? That right there. Can you, under this, Odun? Pull that up, yeah. So this got posted by Schroders Investments that uses the Fed's data, okay? So tells a little bit of a different story, okay? But that's why yours was a key distinction of first cutting by 50 basis points.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last 22 times
Oh, wow. Okay.
the Fed decided to cut interest rates, okay? And what it's showing is how the U.S. stock market reacted after 12 months.
Cut your rates in each cycle. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah,
After
yeah.
12 months. So some of these were maybe just 25 basis points.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know if there's ever been more than 50. But on average, the stock market after 12 months performed 11% better, right? So on average, historically, they've done better. But the last two times, to Chris's point, the Fed cut by 50 basis points, it wasn't too hot for us.
So what I like about this is it also shows that when you have the recessionary economies, the bond market will take a pretty big hit.
Yes, exactly.
So today
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So the bond market, which is typically the safest place to put your money, is considered to be the least amount of risk because it's effectively government-backed or corporate bonds, depending on which kind of bond market you're in. That you get this, you're buying basically their debt and you're getting paid back on a regular occurrence. And it's usually considered to be one of the safer investments. However, the near-term bonds in the current environment had been a little higher. We were in a rate cut inversion. The 2-year bonds were paying more than the 10-year treasuries. And we dipped out of that inversion twice over the last couple of weeks. But today, we officially came out of the yield curve inversion. Now, if it stays out of the inversion, it's a different conversation. But we saw the bond markets do something we absolutely predicted on this show.
Okay.
We said over and over again, don't get your panties all moist on the mortgage market, okay? Because every asshole on social media is going to be out there saying, hey, man, 50 basis points. We just cut rates. We're going to get low rates, and the market's going to go wild. The best time to buy is now. Buy now before home prices continue to go up, because they're going to go up. Because you want to know why? Mortgage rates are going to go down, and everybody's going to buy, except the biggest influence and the nearest corollary to the mortgage market is the 10-year treasuries. And the 10-year treasuries, like we predicted on this show, did not go down today. They went up.
Exactly.
That's how you got out of the yield curve inversion, something we said was going to happen. And what that does is it puts upward pressure on mortgage rates, not downward pressure on mortgage rates. And then somebody will inevitably listen to this and say, hey, Chris, you know what? Mortgage rates have dropped a lot in the last couple of weeks. Yes, they have, because they baked in a rate cut. Now, had they have baked in a rate cut of just 25 basis points, you probably would have seen the bond market go the other way.
Right, exactly.
So what the bond market was saying today effectively was, we called it, and guess what? You're not going to see a dip from here for mortgage rates unless something goes really wrong.
Yeah, exactly, right? So just like the mortgage industry, right? The stock market industry, we're not the only two assholes that can predict when the Fed's going to cut rates.
No, there's a third one in the other room.
There's a third one in the other room, right?
Hello.
Yeah, and there's, there's definitely some assholes out there that are listening, right? So they can expect the way they perform, the way the stock market performs, the way mortgages perform. If they can foreshadow a rate cut is coming, they can already start to price it in, right? So
and they did. They did.
And that's why this chart right here that I had put in here, the stock market continues to perform well because they can continue to expect future rate cuts. And what does that mean? When the Fed decides to continue to cut rates, what they're trying to do is incentivize borrowing. They're trying to make it cheaper. They're trying to get people to go out there and continue to spend because they feel like things are about to go south and we need to try to correct it. Right?
Yeah, but if they were trying to correct it because they thought it was mildly like it's on the edge, kind of might go south, we don't know.
Yeah.
Would have been 25 basis points.
100%.
They cut 50 basis points. They're like, shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they say, we're going to do another 50 before the end of the year, which is it's literally double what everybody in the market was saying just 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And the irony is that on the news, on the last week, the news went from like, oh my God, Timmy, Bobby, you know, I don't know if we're going to get 20. We might get 50 to go going like, I think we're going to get 75.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're like, where the fuck did that come from?
And
going into this, world interest rate probability in Bloomberg was 164%, meaning that there was 25% guaranteed and a 60-something% probability of an additional 25 basis points.
Yeah.
CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, relatively the exact same thing, high probability. I went over both those probabilities before and after the rate cut today. So as we got closer, as is historically the case, they were very, very, very accurate.
Right.
So the market knew this was coming the day before it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to that other point, consumer behavior, I don't think for these mortgage bros that are online saying the time to buy is now because they just cut 50 basis points.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the natural progression for consumers. If people believe that rates are coming down, if they truly believe that, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you wait for rates to continue to bottom out before you jump in? Now I get it. If you've been waiting on the sideline and you're fearful of home prices,
dude, you can get a 6% rate right now. That's a fantastic rate.
Yes.
You should not be letting mortgage. Adam reached out to me today, and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm looking at doing something."
Where's he from again?
Huh?
Where's he from?
Mind Pump.
Got it. Mind Pump.
Haroon, you seen that show, Mind Pump? Mind Pump.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for that guy, Sal.
Jesus.
He's on steroids, right?
He's so good looking.
The sad part is I'm on all the same stuff he's on.
So good looking.
Why is he in better shape than me? It's fucked up.
He's dialed in.
Yeah. I know he's cheating.
No, he's not.
Huh?
He's clean, bro.
Like, he's the kind of guy who says he's going to church, but his church is the gym now.
No.
Praise Jesus, iron.
He's super into that now, but I think, he's the kind of guy that wears, like, the blue light blockers at night.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And he's probably, like, changed his light bulbs so that they don't,
I'm
give
telling
off
you,
certain kinds of light.
Adam's doing a day in the life right now. And, I'm competitive. So, I'm like, He's 2% higher body fat than
I
me.
like that new docuseries that they're doing.
I love it.
I've watched already the 2 episodes.
I did too, but I talked shit to him the entire time. I'm like, hey, bitch, you got 2% more body fat than me. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna let you get below me.
Yeah, I didn't know that he tore his pec.
Yeah.
So he's recovering off that. Yeah, so he's got to be.
I mean,
that's kind of scary.
We're not giving him excuses. Stop it.
Come on, we like him, bro.
Bro, he's got a cold plunge and a sauna in his studio.
That doesn't mean anything, bro.
He gets no excuses for not recovering.
I got it. And he's on the Wolverine stack.
Is he?
I mean, yeah, for sure he has been. He said that he was gonna shoot him up with some BBC 157. Where can they get that though?
Transcendcompanies.com/THSP. That's transcendcompany.com/THSP. I'm actually BPC is getting harder to get. BPC 157. It's getting harder to get. I actually have some that Len, my guy there, sent me 3 bottles of it. I've been using it. It's such an incredible thing to use, even if you're not injured. It helps with recovery the day after lifting weights, and it's been phenomenal. This is going to sound pretentious because I've literally been, you've seen me, I've been eating fucking breakfast burritos and shit because today was National Rate Cut Day.
National Rate Cut Day. Had to.
You know,
it's a celebration.
I had a celebratory burrito.
Right.
Breakfast burrito for my lunch today.
Celebratory.
Yeah,
Thanks for the invite, bro. I was right there with you. You knew I was there.
No, I didn't know you were there.
Yeah. Stop.
Bro, today was the first day I've seen you in the office in 3 weeks.
Stop.
I didn't even know if you were still employed. You didn't pick up your hard drive last week?
I have to pick it up. You can't come drop it off?
I left it on my desk out with your name on it and a Post-it in case you came to my office when I wasn't there for an entire week.
What an
I'm
asshole
like,
you
fuck
are.
this guy. He's not even coming to the office.
You use my
anymore.
hard drive. You won't walk it up to my office?
Bro, I don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
It's going into a war zone right now.
It's going into a war zone. We won't get into it.
Yeah. That's basically walking in between Russia and Ukraine.
No, it's not. It's not, because that would be insensitive, Christopher. We can't say that.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to explain that there's a lot of tensions politically going on. And
yeah. A lot of closed doors.
Yeah, a lot of closed doors. My office too.
Yeah,
I'm always at the closed door now.
Yeah, it's the only way to focus.
It's usually because I'm listening to Johnny Gill.
Johnny, what is Johnny Gill? I don't know Johnny Gill.
What?
Sorry, I'm just being honest. Odin, do you know Johnny Gill?
Nope.
Thank God I'm there. I was worried. You had me worried a little bit. What's Johnny Gill?
There
there you go.
LSG,
okay.
Levert Sweat Gill.
There you go. 58 years young.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Can't believe you don't know about Johnny Gill.
Can you stand the rain?
Can you stand the rain?
Okay, Christopher, Jesus.
Obviously, singing wasn't my thing, but yeah, you didn't know Johnny Gill?
No.
Bro, he was a badass.
I mean, I'm sure
he came out.
Looks like a badass.
So he was the New Edition era. He came out as part of LSG, which was a group with Levert, Sweat, and Gill. So Keith Sweat.
Oh, Keith Sweat. I know Keith Sweat. Okay.
So they came out like basically 3 singers got together and formed this group for this one CD.
LSG makes sense.
Yeah. And it was a fantastic fucking CD. It was like everything you expect from like that era.
New Edition. I know. I've definitely heard of New Edition.
Stop it, Bobby Brown.
Yeah. No, I have. I'm saying I have. Jesus, don't jump on me.
New Edition, like that whole era, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
you weren't even born yet, but if you were, you would have liked it.
So for our listeners out there that are afraid that with the Fed now cutting 50 basis points, that they're being told that it's going to have a positive impact on mortgage rates, right? We know that it didn't today. You know, the 10-year didn't go down.
You're going to see some volatility in mortgage rates. That's going to happen.
We fell out of the inverted yield curve.
Yeah.
Okay. Which typically now means that a recession is on its way.
You've got historically speaking.
Yes.
Haroon, do me a favor. Pull up that Fred chart of unemployment rate on the left there.
The one that on the left bottom, left,
he knows.
right there.
Don't mansplain to him what the left means. Haroon, I got your back, bro.
I was trying to help him out before you attacked him.
Take that shit from him.
Thank you, sir.
I already know you were ready, bro.
Don't you mansplain to him, boy.
If he stalled one more second, you were about, bro. It's right there.
No, man, I've turned over a new leaf.
That's not you.
No, I've turned over a new leaf.
You don't turn. You don't turn leaves, bro.
I turned over.
You don't turn any leaves.
I rolled that fucking leaf over. I baby powder that shit up. Roll it over.
There's 100 leaves in this room. You don't turn any over.
I'm afraid of cockroaches. That's why. Bro, I had to let you guys get here first. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you're just like,
I'm like, if I hear one of them scream because I see a cockroach, I'm just not going in.
Yeah.
I can't. And the one that's outside in the hallway, how can that be there for weeks on end? People walking by and nobody cleaning it up.
I mean, he deserves a burial at this point.
That's got to be a new cockroach or a mascot or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. All right, so this is the Fed employment rate chart. And what they've done is they've circled.
Yeah.
Something just dawned on me here. Okay, so they circled all the drops, the lowest points in unemployment, okay? Now, typically speaking, unemployment, as we know, will peak after we get into the cycle that we're in currently, right?
Okay.
A rate cutting cycle. So if you look at this chart, you've seen it peak after every single time they've cut rates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are two notable large places they've done this, and this is where we've seen the recessions. They coincide with the recession, so think 2007, think 2001. But look at the peak in 2020 during the pandemic. Let's just remove that far right visceral line straight up.
Yeah.
And let's level it out, because that was kind of an artificially created. I don't like the 2020 pandemic era being a recession.
Yeah, you can't really use that because that was so I don't know, like once in a lifetime.
It was manufactured.
Right.
So it's peaks and valleys, right? Unemployment goes up, unemployment goes down. If you remove that weird anomaly,
Mm-hmm.
you know unemployment's going to spike up. That's what this chart is telling you.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah.
This chart is telling you it's bottomed out. It has to go back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely
There is no other place for it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes up even half the level of where it's gone historically, you are in a recession. So I don't want anybody to go like, oh, Chris, we're in there's rainbows and gumdrops and lollipops outside, and there's butterflies and unicorns, and Haroon is working out, and we're in this perfect harmony.
Yeah.
Right? No. A soft landing, by the way, does not necessarily mean anything. It's an artificially created language to describe a very comfortable return to normal.
The same way these positive GDP prints, the same way this, the employment data that's been coming out, the same way that all this positive data has been coming out, it's basically painting a picture that we should all be swimming in gold right now.
Except for the fact that Jerome Powell himself today, at his own meeting, said, well, about those employment numbers, yeah, those are not accurate. No, those aren't. No,
we gathered that information incorrectly.
We feel like it's misrepresenting the current market. Well, really, where the fuck was that the last 15 meetings you had?
Right, and
affordable housing, yeah, that's a problem. It's just not our problem.
Yeah.
That's funny. What about the data? Well, the data's really laggy. It lags a lot, so we don't think that it's reflective of the market. Where the fuck was that the last 15 meetings?
Yeah.
So if the housing affordability issue is not being accurately reported,
mm-hmm.
if the unemployment issue is not being accurately reported, and you felt that 25 basis points was not enough to stop whatever's coming next, and 50 basis points, in addition to an additional 50 basis points, a full 1% correction before year end, in a matter of possibly 3 months is necessary,
mm-hmm.
then you're basically telling us, hold on tight, America, because you're going to get kicked right in the ding-ding with whatever comes next.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think where mortgage rates dipped down, to that 6.625, where they are now, that people are, kind of excited for what's to come in the future. I think what had been baked in was a 25 basis point cut.
Yeah.
So it's remains to be seen what happens with this 50 basis point, and it also remains to be seen what happens in November and December and what that actually does to the 10-year Treasury. But I know a lot of people are online are worried that, if rates do come down, our home price is only going to go north from here. And I think there's more factors at play here than just mortgage rates, right? That's not the only thing that if more people come online. It has to do with what's going on locally, in your neighborhood or your region, okay? Mm-hmm. It definitely matters what's going on with the economy and what's going on with things like unemployment. If people have jobs, if people don't have jobs, right? Are there going to be enough people coming out to put upward pressure on that? What's going on with the supply? What's going on with new construction?
All right. Okay, sweet cheeks. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Can you go to the Kabisi letter for me? This is my real-time proxy. This is Chris's secret sauce to what's really going on.
Are you even going to acknowledge the alley-oop? I mean, what's going on here?
I am. I was going to give it to you with the convert. You can't demand for me to point at you while I'm dunking.
I want you to dunk and point at the same time.
You can't do it at the same time. I don't have that kind of coordination.
You got to catch it and point. Like, I got you.
Haroon, how do you deal with this in the drive over every night?
We don't talk.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we just sit there in silence.
You guys play like nature sounds, maybe some lo-fi, something in the background?
He listens to a Chargers podcast on the way over here.
Wait, I'm sorry. You listen to a podcast on the way over here that's not your own?
Yeah.
Well, he's getting tips on how to grow seeing what they do.
I don't feel like a Chargers podcast is our demographic.
So it could be.
No. You don't listen to any financial podcasts at all?
He's got this one. What else? He doesn't need to listen to any other one.
He doesn't listen to this one.
He doesn't listen to this
Yeah.
He listens to this one.
That's Saied giving me an alley-oop and me recognizing the alley-oop. He just called me out for not doing that. I had to take it. I didn't want to, Haroon. He made me do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible person. That's why you're the villain, bro.
I am the villain.
Set you up and me up. We got played.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
True player for real.
That I'm not sorry. Okay, this, according to the Kobisi letter, the number of full-time real estate agents and brokers in the U.S. dropped to 440,000 in 2023, the least since 2014. The real estate agents count fell 72,000 year over year, or 14%, marking the largest drop since 2008. That time sounds familiar. Could that be the great financial crisis, maybe?
That's got to be a sign, right?
That's got to be a sign of the times. The number of members in the National Association of Realtors is now down 100,000 since 2022 to approximately 1.5 million. In July, pending home sales plummeted to their lowest level on record. Let that sink in. Even below the 2020 pandemic levels when the housing market halted. Okay, I'm gonna say this again, okay, because I think this is important. Just to be clear, housing has gotten so unaffordable, and rates just a slight bit higher than where they are today, made that so difficult to happen that we got to the lowest level of home sales on record. Even worse than when people physically couldn't leave their home to go look at a house because they were locked into the pandemic.
Wild.
That's how bad it's gotten out there. But people are like, hey, man, it's going to be amazing for real estate, supply and demand. It's going to go up from here, bro.
Just driving home the last 2 weeks or so, I'm seeing a lot of open house signs on the weekends now. It's real. I feel like a lot of homes
I've seen a lot.
Are trying to come online and try to capitalize because maybe they think this is where we cap out at.
Yeah, maybe. And look, so with mortgage demand at or around near 30-year lows, the housing market is stalling. Agents are dropping quickly, and the chart, full-time real estate agents broken out in the U.S., is just as bad as it sounded. It's going straight down. Now, the National Association of Realtors has had a lot of issues internally, lawsuits and whatnot, structuring. It's a whole problem. That being said, this to me says, okay, fuck all that shit you're hearing about the housing market. There's a problem.
Yeah.
If you're losing 14% of your workforce.
And by losing, what does that mean? They're just not renewing their licenses?
They're no longer in the association. And you can't get access to MLS if you're not in the association. So you're not an active working realtor, or even if you're part-time, and you're not doing it. They're losing members.
Yeah.
They're not selling houses anymore.
Yeah.
Now, some people are going into things like wholesaling where you don't need a real estate license. But this, to me, says, look, if there's this much prosperous activity going on, you wouldn't be losing 14% of your membership.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this, to me, says those numbers you're getting from the Fed, as Jerome Powell is somewhat colloquially referred to as being somewhat off and delayed, yeah, they are, because this is the real world. This is your real-time data.
Right.
This is what's really going on out there. Haroon, you following Sweet Cheeks back there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're paying attention, because I know that sometimes we bore you.
No, never that.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like we brought the energy tonight.
Haroon, do you feel like you're bored sometimes listening to us?
Nope.
Would you tell me if you did?
I
would.
would.
You can't laugh
Come
after you
on.
say that.
He would, bro. Come on. Odin would literally tell you to your face if you look your worst.
I do. Yeah, well, I feel okay today, but
No, you look great today. I came in a little cozy.
all black everything.
All black everything.
I just thought you were mourning Diddy not being released on bail.
Bro, can we just get into it?
No, we got to hold it off.
Come on.
I know you want to bust, but hold up. All right, just wait. You're going to get your freak off. Just give me a minute.
Before we get into that segment of the show, if you're listening to us on Apple or Spotify, please head over and leave us an honest 5-star review. We would really appreciate it. If you're watching us over on YouTube, please make sure you hit that like button, ring that notification bell, do all the moist, goody good stuff.
Do we have anything else to get into before we get into the freak offs?
I
did post this. This is such a stunning thing. Damn it, I have to talk about this.
You have to talk about this before the freak off?
Well, this is a good segue to the freak off because it's all about DNA.
Oh. 23andMe. I never did this. Did you do this?
I did. Well, not 23andMe. I did a different version of it. But yeah.
Okay.
I did do the, putting my DNA out in the zeitgeist, if you will. So 23andMe CEO Anne, I can't say her last name, Wojicicki, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, we tried.
Surprised and disappointed by board resignations. Read the memo.
This written by Kaput.
What?
Ashley Kaput. That's a sick name.
It's a good name. And you call me Caput.
What happened to the show? We stopped doing that.
The last name thing?
Yeah.
I feel like it's too personal when you make dick jokes out of everybody's last name.
Okay.
You know?
Well, we're not mature.
We're already explicit.
Yeah, okay.
Every time I have to, so whenever I upload the video to Spotify, it asks if it has explicit content, and I'm like, in whose view? According to YouTube, the answer is yes, because everything we try to post there
Yeah, exactly.
gets how do you say this in a non-YouTube offensive way? Cock blocked. Right?
Everything gets
Yeah,
blocked.
everything gets indicted.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. So although the last episode, believe it or not, I got to promote it and the whole thing.
No, yeah, we didn't say anything wrong on the last one, huh? We even talked about the debate on the last one.
I know, it's weird. I think because we didn't say the TRUMP word.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that if you say that, that's when they flag you.
Yeah, it just apparently it can listen, but it can't spell, so we're okay. We're safe for this episode.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So all 7 independent directors resigned from 23andMe's board Tuesday, effective immediately.
What do they know, bro?
I'm just saying.
What do they know?
The directors had formed a special committee in March tasked with helping the struggling company find a new path forward. In a memo to employees, CEO Anne said she was surprised and disappointed by the decision. Are you really surprised and disappointed by the decision? This fundamentally says something that's important. Go back up to the there it is. There it is. Double click that, open it up. Nice and big. So this guy Kyle wrote this on LinkedIn, and I had the fortunate nature of running by it.
He's not just any guy. He's a biotech journalist.
Yeah, so I thought he would probably have a familiarity with the space. So I read it. I'm like, okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
23andMe, the life sciences outfit that has struggled with its two-pronged model of genetic testing and drug development, has now just one board member, the founding CEO, who has been trying to take the company private for the past few months. The company's therapeutics arm took a handful of posters on their 2 clinical stage cancer drugs to this past weekend's European Society for Medical Oncology conference in Barcelona. They returned home to a Bay Area company in limbo and an uncertain future as all 7 independent board directors resigned immediately on Tuesday night. Due to differing views with CEO Anne and her concentrated voting power, we'll get to that momentarily, the directors wrote in a public letter, "We believe that it is in the best interest of the company's shareholders that we resign from the board rather than have a protracted and distracting difference of view." I can't see it because the camera's in the way. Difference of view with
you as to the direction of the company.
Thank you, Saied.
It's funny how anytime anybody comes out with a statement like this, you got to preface it with it's in the best interest of the company's shareholders. So because they have fiduciary responsibility. I don't want to be held responsible for doing anything. This is what's best for you guys. For me to leave.
Can I just read between the lines for you?
Please do. But when you do that, can you also explain how would somebody even go about taking a company that's public like that private?
Oh yeah, you gotta effectively buy out the shareholders, but that's
really expensive. So they're raising a bunch of capital, or what?
It's not easy to do. It's got its complications. The shareholders do have to vote for it. You have to. There's a whole lot of complications around it. And look, in some cases, it's actually a good thing. Being a publicly traded company is not as sexy as you think it is. If you're not trying to liquidate your position and get out, or you're not trying to monetize and grow, man, why would you want the regulatory oversight and extra vision into your company, right? So, and I don't know this to be true, but reading between the lines, I can tell you that I think that it is. For a long period of time in the tech space in San Francisco, CEOs got really smart. And a classic example of this is Facebook, now Meta. Mark Zuckerberg essentially has all the voting shares and cannot be voted out of his own company as CEO, as the founder. Wow. So a lot of these tech founders had that same structure put in place following his success at it and others like his success at it, to where the board, even though they're supposed to have strategic oversight and be able to elect and vote for a CEO, the board cannot vote out the founding CEO.
And the way they're able to do this is because during its first few years, the company's growing at such a fast rate and they're uber successful, right? That people are willing to jump on board because they can see the rise. There's all this money that's being put behind them.
Yep.
Right. And then when you come in, they obviously get enough shares to make it, they basically buy you. Right. So,
well, and keep in mind the CEO, if he or she controls all the voting shares and they're the ones who really make the decision at the end of the day and they cannot be voted out, can the board really do their job? And what the board is saying here is we're not communicating well. We have a different strategic vision. All 7 of us think the CEO is wrong. We can't fire the CEO because of her, quote, voting power. That was what that statement was there for.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to leave.
Right.
Because they don't want to have their own personal liability on the hook because this CEO is doing some shit they don't believe in.
That's clearly the message they're sending is if it were up to us, we would get rid of the CEO. But since we can't, we're going to leave ourselves.
Yes. And that's an extreme example. Now, all of this shit could have been and should have been avoided. All they had to do was have a better communication, be more amenable to working collaboratively on an end result. But clearly you have a CEO who is unwilling to listen to 7 independent people whose sole job it is to look out for the strategic direction of the company.
So question regarding that, right? So wouldn't that hurt the stock, like a PR like this, right?
100,000%.
So with that being said, wouldn't it make sense for the shareholders to sell to the CEO so it does go private?
It doesn't work that way. And she most likely doesn't have the capital to do that. Mm-hmm. They would have to vote for it. But keep in mind,
she's no Elon.
She's no Elon. And there's also a ton of litigation risk.
Yeah.
Right? Fiduciary responsibility, duty of loyalty, duty of care, all the classic, vague, ambiguous, broad things that you have to owe the company as a CEO, as a board member. You don't want to be in this position ever. Right?
Yeah, this is really scary and bad, right? I mean, obviously, clearly there's ego at play here, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, maybe you can speak, because look, it does require. I'm curious to get your take on this. It does require a certain level of ego or belief in oneself to
100%,
to create a company
alpha
like this.
Bro.
Alpha bros to get there. I mean, you went to Yale School of Management, right? I'm sure you've had some encounters with a lot of people there that maybe had a healthy amount of ego to get to where they are. Because, I mean, there's got to be some kind of balance, right?
See, all I do is I watch Andy Elliott all day long. And I know that I got to be shredded and have a 6-pack set of abs because nobody will respect me if I don't. That was kind of off. Yeah, there's a weird juxtaposition with being confident in yourself, believing that you can do something. And I don't want to say manifesting it, but no CEO is going to go into a role knowing 100%, right? I'll use banking because it's closest to me. You can be a fantastic CEO, but not know the accounting side that well. Mm-hmm. You can be a fantastic CEO and not have as good of a handle on the regulatory side. But you can't not have both, right? You got to have one strong suit or the other. I know a lot of CEOs, you look at them and you're like, well, why the fuck is this guy or that girl in that position? And they wind up being spectacular CEOs. I didn't know that Dara, who's now the CEO of Uber, was going to be as good as he is. He's a former CFO of Interactive Corp. Barry Diller was somebody who came up in his ranks, so he had a good pedigree of people kind of managing him and showing him the way. If you would have told me that he would be this transformative at Uber and this good, I would probably been like, I don't know. He's more of a numbers guy. I don't know if he has a personality for it. But now I see him as more of a Steve Jobs type than I do as a CFO type. So clearly, you got to give someone the opportunity to shine in those set of circumstances.
Right. Absolutely.
But you don't always know. In some cases, like Nicole, the guy that's now at Starbucks.
Yeah.
That guy makes sense. Like he's gonna kill it.
Yeah, well, he's got a pedigree too, right? I mean,
he's got a pedigree. I'm sure he's got a massive ass ego behind him too.
Right, and there's something to be said, like but someone not like him, right? If you see them and they carry themselves a certain way, there's something to be said about establishing yourself and presenting yourself in a way to where, okay, maybe I don't have the pedigree like that guy, but you can trust the fact that you know that I'll get it done.
Haroon, look up the CEO of Cantilever.
CEO of what?
Cantilever. They own a bunch of brands. I think Dove's one of them. So they own look up the CEO of Cantilever. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I think it's Paulson, maybe. Shit. Maybe look at the former board or chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board.
Damn it. Cantilever Group.
What about him?
No, that's not it. Damn it. Look up parent company of Dove.
Parent company of Dove?
Maybe I'm getting the name of the company wrong. I think I'm getting the name of the company. Unilever, that's it, not Cantilever, sorry. Unilever's CEO.
What do they even do? I don't even know what they do.
Unilever owns a bunch of brands, Procter and Gamble, all this stuff. Damn it! Go to our leadership page. Down there, in the bottom. Yeah,
first
right
link
there.
right there. Yep.
I thought his name was Paulson.
Anyways, what about him? What about
Maybe
this
he
guy?
left. So Unilever owns a bunch of brands. Go to the right there, Haroon, and go to Unilever. Yeah, man. Paul Pullman. Is that him? Click on it. Paul Gerardus, Joseph, Maria Pullman. That's him.
Former CEO of Unilever. So you're not wrong.
Not okay. Yeah. Well, it's been a while. So I saw this dude give a presentation. He came off a helicopter and this is in New York. Comes in and Unilever's a big brand. It owns a lot of companies. Go back to Unilever's Wikipedia page, Haroon. There you go. And let's look at some of the companies that it owns. It owns Dove, Ben and Jerry's, Hellman's,
Slim Fast,
Lux, Magnum. Ooh, hey, there you go. That dovetails nicely. Right, Dollar Shave Club. There's a bunch of stuff that's going on there, right? They own a lot, and they're international. It's a big company.
Yeah,
it's a big job. He walked into this summit that I was at, gets off a helicopter, walks in, accepts this award, and then off the cuff gives one of the most impressive speeches I'd ever seen. At the time, the du jour, really sexy thing to talk about was environmental social governance, ESG.
Okay.
And a lot of guys will talk about it because it helps their stock price. But he was talking about it from a place like he really appreciated and knew the nuances of it. And he wasn't egotistical about it. He was just informative, educational, and he wasn't arrogant, but you could tell like he believed in himself.
Got it.
I believe that when you're a smaller company or you're a guy on social media, you can be this alpha male, push through, be hyper aggressive. But you want to really get to the next level to have the pedigree to run a company like this, you've got to have a certain degree of political decorum, a certain degree of, you can have an ego, but it needs to hide behind a way of treating people right, a way of connecting with people and communicating. Anne's problem at 23andMe is she could not communicate with her board, and there's somebody who's being very obstinate. And if 7 people are voting against 1, it's pretty easy to tell who that is.
Yeah.
Well, when I saw Pullman do his presentation, I talked to him afterward on the way out, and he was catching a helicopter on the way out. He could not have been more thoughtful and charismatic and gregarious. And you're just like, wow, like this dude, like this guy should be a CEO. Like, he should be that guy.
Right.
And you'll find that the Jamie Dimons of the world are more like this.
I was just gonna bring him up, right? You see a guy like Jamie Dimon doing an interview, and you know he's the CEO of Chase. You know he's getting paid bucks.
Yeah.
But for somehow when he's talking, he doesn't make you feel that way.
6'4", pretty big dude, super articulate. He's essentially a politician now. And you need to have a little bit of that politician in you to do these jobs, because your job is to be more than just a figurehead for the company. Your job is to represent a brand. And sometimes the best way to foster the brand through these challenges are to have these connections politically to navigate through an environment.
Yeah.
Particularly in banking, where there's a lot of politics involved. And the reason why I say this is all important is you start looking at some of these people, you start stripping down like the basis of it. You do need to have an ego and a self-belief in yourself, but it needs to be earned, and you need to be able to back it up. But you also need to be able to have this way of engaging and connecting with people. A good CEO is not going to alienate themselves. A good CEO is going to have a better relationship with their board of directors than see all 7 people depart.
Right. Absolutely.
So you can certainly,
a good CEO never lets it get to this point.
No.
Right. There's a lot that transpired before this. This doesn't just happen overnight.
It does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
So, let's get into the freak offs, shall we? Come on. Can we do it, please?
Let's do it. We have to do it. There's so much to get into, because I'll be honest, I was one of those people that I stayed away from it.
I tried to too, but every single time I tried to, bing, my phone would come up with something new, and it kept getting more and more just crazy.
So they raided the Miami house, right?
Can I give a little asterisk here?
A little asterisk?
Haroon, this is for you too, okay? Because I know we're going to go off the deep end, all right? We are by no means endorsing any of this stuff. We're not making light of some really fucked up things that happened.
Yeah.
All we're doing is saying that this is some sensational news, the details of which are extreme. They're disturbing, but they're so goddamn extreme, and they went on for such a long time. You can't help but laugh at how asinine some of this is.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You have to, right? Because a lot of people knew about a lot of these things, and nobody cared up until now.
So I knew shit was going to get bad when they indicted him under the RICO Act.
Mm-hmm. The same way they get the mob members.
Al Capone.
Yeah.
RICO, right? You can't prove they're killing people, so you get them for racketeering.
Yeah.
This is
just having an affiliation with somebody, right? Like, yeah.
So when these alerts first came out, I was like, all right, I'm not doing the clickbait thing. Okay, I'm not doing it. And I've heard, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there's audio out there allegedly of P. Diddy having sex with Meek Mill.
I did not know this.
And Meek Mill's like screaming "Daddy" and stuff like that. Like, and the guy who originally recorded it.
No, this can't be real. Come on.
This is real. The guy who originally recorded it.
This is crazy.
He's done interviews before, right? He tried to put it out there and nobody believed him. And he was like, look, I get it. I know people are like, okay, why do you have this audio? And he's like, look, I'm in a billionaire's house. I'm working as security. I walk up to a door, and I'm not ashamed to admit I put my ear to the door, and I heard some weird stuff going on in the room where I knew Meek Mill and Diddy were at. It sounds exactly like what it sounds like. So I started recording it. Yes, I was trying to get money from it. I thought maybe I could sell it to somebody because this is wild shit. Nobody believed me. And he's like, now everybody believes me. He's like, because the stuff that I was trying to tell you that was happening is a small fraction of the reality.
These things have been going on for a long time with him.
So in his Miami house, they raided it. They found videotapes.
All the guns, too?
He had several guns, including AR-15s with the serial number scratched off. Why do you need an AR-15, and why do you need an AR-15 with a serial number gone?
Right.
That's illegal for a number of reasons. Then they're accusing him of crossing interstate lines. And just to recall, I thought Cassie's lawsuit that she filed against him was wild.
Right.
But I believed every word of it when it came out.
Yeah.
She accused him of,
it's so bad I couldn't even stomach it.
Oh yeah. She accused him of hiring male prostitutes, drugging her, hiring male prostitutes to have sex with her while he watched and videotaped.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, this is his girlfriend.
Wife, right? I mean, were they married? Or were they
just... I don't know.
They were together. Essentially his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she made some wild and outlandish accusations, but to me it was so outlandish, it had to be true. Mm-hmm. And then you see the video where he was seen beating her up half naked in a hallway
of a hotel.
And I just knew everything she said was true. And then he paid her quickly and it went away. But now you read the indictment against him and over 50 people were interviewed for this. Mm-hmm. This is not going away.
No, not going away, exactly.
And everybody focused on the sensational stuff. Like they found 50 bottles of baby oil, 1,000 bottles of baby oil were confiscated from his Miami house and lube, baby oil and lube. Now, you might not know this.
It's not supposed to be used as lube.
No, it's not. But Hugh Hefner, before he passed away, after he passed away, the girl started talking about some of the stuff that he would do routinely. For reasons that I still don't fully understand, Hugh Hefner insisted on using as lube baby oil. Insisted on using it. And it used to give the girls all sorts of bacterial issues or, pain. And it wasn't, because it's not supposed to be used that way. So they would swap it out with lube, and he could tell, and he would always swap it back to baby oil. And he had all these house rules. And Diddy's behavior echoed a lot of those house rules, but with drugs. And what I don't understand is, and maybe I'm the asshole because I'm thinking this stuff through, and I probably shouldn't be because you just can't rationalize crazy.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is, and this is fucked up, so he would call these things freak-offs. And they weren't like a couple hours. They were days long in some cases.
It was understood that after a certain time of night, the party would turn into the freak-off. So people would literally tell other people, hey, you probably want to get out of here. The freak-off's about to happen like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
So he would hire male prostitutes to have sex with these women, right? But what I don't understand is why are you going to hire why don't you just hire female prostitutes too? I'm sure if you would have paid people, they would have done this.
No, it's a dominant thing.
He would get women there under the auspice of a relationship or something like that. He would drug the women, but then hire male prostitutes, and he would, touch himself while watching this. This is all according to the indictment. Mm-hmm. But they got so dehydrated over the course of like 12, 18 hours doing this straight that he had some of these people on IVs.
Yeah, man.
While doing this shit.
It makes you think. So this behavior has been going on for so long. You knew it was out there. The people that wanted to know about this knew about it, right? The people that are charging him with it or indicting him with it, this information has been out there. Who has been at this party or at this house recently or in the past that they now want to promote or push that they're like, we can't have that get out?
I have a theory.
I want to hear it.
Okay.
Tinfoil hat?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I think he had somebody over there, and that somebody realized that everybody was on film. And that somebody probably called him, was like, hey, man.
I need that film.
I need all that stuff gone. And he was like, fuck you.
Yep, because there's an ego. Yep.
I've been doing this for decades. You ain't going to call me and tell me to get rid of something?
At my house?
At my house?
Yeah.
And this person said, okay.
Yeah.
And the FBI came and raided him.
Yep. And that's it.
And then the FBI says, okay, so-and-so, we got your video, but now we got all this we can't ignore. What do you want to do? Give me my video. Do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Yeah. It could be literally as easy as that. Oh, God, he's disgusting.
It blows me away, man.
Yeah.
And there were stories about how he got his rise to the top.
It's wild, the resemblance to the whole island thing. I don't even
Epstein?
I didn't want to name the name. That's for sure getting us flagged. But
No,
the resemblance there is it's so crazy. Right? Like having all the cameras in the room.
No, I think Diddy's worse.
And I feel like the way he got his way to the top is
Epstein didn't have cameras like that.
No, there was cameras in every room with Epstein in his penthouse mansion. Yeah, no, there were.
Oh, so you did some research, huh?
Yeah, for that.
For the show.
Yeah, for the show. Yeah, exactly. No, man.
But no one's ever seen any of these tapes. No one's ever seen any of these names. It just strikes me as stunning. This could go on for as long as it did.
Yeah, this is like when you hear people say that to make it in the industry, you have to sell your soul to the devil. It's stuff like this. It's forget about going to the quote unquote freak off and doing what you need to do to make it. No, push that aside. I think that's the worst. It's worse than that. It's knowing about the freak offs and not having the ability or feel like you can even say anything about it. Because if you do, you're never going to make it. You know, imagine taking down, imagine the people back in the day, Bobby Knight, what he meant to the University of Indiana, right? And some of the stuff that he would make these kids do and practice and run, and it was god awful, right? If you're just a kid going through the program, and for what Bobby Knight meant to that university, to that state, right? To call him out, you're never going to make it in anything that you want to do. So you can see how people, and now take that to tenfold, to something even greater and bigger. A whole industry of people that have co-signed this guy Diddy.
Do you believe that he had Tupac killed?
I mean, I can easily envision a world where that happened. Yes.
Do you believe that he had Biggie killed?
That'd be dirty.
You're talking about a man who hosts freak offs. I don't think dirty's a problem for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look.
He had his own alcohol company. He was one of the largest producers.
Yeah, he felt invincible.
I mean, a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I just...
And he felt like he could treat these people like shit.
And they know more than they're telling the public. They denied his appeal because his original bail was denied because he was a flight risk. His lawyer submitted a letter, including statements by him saying that he would not. This man has daughters. That's the part I don't get. You've got daughters.
Right. Well, clearly there's not a lot of focus and attention on being a good dad.
You got kids, sons, grown sons, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a report that came out that the former warden of the prison that he's at is his life's at risk. I mean, yeah, obviously. What do you expect?
Oh, dude, you can't. And you can't put him in Gen Pop.
No, you can't. No, he's not going to Gen Pop.
No, you can't even put him in he's got to be in a special place.
And someone like that probably has always thought that I got so much dirt on so many people that if I ever got put away for something, I'll threaten to use that dirt, right? Because he never thought it would get this big. But when they discredit you to this point, nothing you say can ever clear your name now. It's over for him.
Or when you're bringing up Diageo?
Yeah, it's his Ciroc, his vodka.
No, that's a different company. I think they were just a partner with him. Diageo owns different companies, like, right?
Vodka giant Ciroc is owned by Diageo and popular hip hop artist Sean Diddy.
Yes, Diageo is a different company. They own a bunch of different alcohol brands. I think they just partnered with him on this.
Got it.
Yeah, they're not. Thankfully, they're not indebted to him. But
there was something else that kind of bothered me today about him. Apparently, some guy had a judgment against him for $100 million for some sexual assault harassment case for something that happened back in like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything that's going on now, the judge set it aside off a technicality on the way Diddy was served. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, that's just him getting attorneys that are creative, right? But his attorneys have been losing this left and right.
Oh yeah, this as a whole, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you can't go back from this.
Yeah, he's not.
There's no coming back. That's it. It's over for him.
If they decided to go so far as to indict him under RICO, interview 50 people from the time that Cassie and all that stuff was in the media headlines, what was that, like a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
To now, they did the research, they did all the due diligence. They decide to bring him in. They deny him bail. They appeal the bail, and they say, no, they deny it again and say, no, he's staying in jail until the trial. They aren't fucking around. They got what they want. They know how this plays out. He ain't going to win. And I guarantee you when this stuff comes out in the news, it's going to be bad.
They're not even going to give him a microphone to speak on it. There was like footage that came out that like over the course of the people have been asking like, hey, yo, Jay-Z, like, where you at on all this?
Because Jay-Z's probably been to a freak off.
Silence.
Yeah, dude. Jay-Z's not innocent though, bro. Like, you remember, God, what was it 106 in Park with Free and the other guy?
Yeah.
The other VJ, what was his name?
I don't know. I don't remember the names, but I remember the show.
But the girl Free, right?
Yeah.
She's rumored to have Jay-Z's like love child.
Oh boy.
And her entire career just abruptly stopped. She fell off the face of the earth. No social media, nothing, just gone.
Wow.
Yeah, that's her.
Yep.
And she has like a daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like a kid or something like that. It's rumored to be Jay-Z's like kid.
Ay.
But just fell off the face of the planet. So what I'm trying to say is like Jay-Z ain't innocent.
No. That's a whole separate issue. I mean, it's hard. Those two are two completely different things.
Oh, she does have social media. Okay. OG 106 in Park.
OG 106 in Park. I love that. Back when those TV shows meant something. Remember when like TV shows, like music channels actually played music?
Yeah, man. Well,
what happened?
Traditional media is just terrible, man.
Again,
let's be honest. Nobody.
MTV is. When was the last time you saw anything music related on MTV?
Well, here's a better thing. Aside from sports, name one show you actually watch when it plays for the first time.
Yeah, I think I actually had this conversation recently. The last time that happened was Game of Thrones. Right?
Yeah,
it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard. And I feel like the only way to still do that will be some subscription service.
It's just sports. Sports are going to be the only thing that's not going to wait for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Game of Thrones is probably one of the last ones that's really going to catch fire like that.
But even now, they typically come out once a week on like HBO or in Netflix or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and then you watch it when you can. You want to watch it the day it comes out, but
you want to for shows like if a show gets big enough, you're forced to watch it the day it comes out because social media will kill it for you.
So I canceled my cable. We talked about that on the show, right?
Yeah,
and they said, "Oh, turn in your cable boxes within 10 days." And I'm gonna be honest. I was like, fuck you. They're like, why? Why are you so angry? And I'm like, bro, I haven't actually watched cable that I've been paying like $300 a month for in probably 2 years. Okay. My router is from 1942. I don't even have that thing anymore.
Right.
And my cable boxes, which you put in like 2012 or 2013, can't possibly be good anymore.
Right.
Fuck you guys. Send somebody to my house.
Yeah.
I ain't bringing you shit.
Yeah.
It's bad enough I came here to do this shit because your customer service with the phone is terrible.
Right.
Which, by the way, you also sell that service.
That's crazy. Wait, which service was it?
Cox.
Of course.
No Diddy.
no Diddy. No freak off. Because I had AT&T and they didn't. They said just keep that shit.
Right? Because that's what they should say.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that they did because we use it we use it like an Apple TV because it has all the apps on it still, so we can hop over from app to app to app. It's easier than.
So mine doesn't even have apps on. That's how old it is, right? But I have Apple TV and I have like the internet, and I switched to the Google internet because it has fiber optic cable to run into my house. It's wildly fast, right?
Right.
So I have really no reason. So I'm at my house on Saturday, and I hear like a knock on the door, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Is this like a Mormon?"
Oh,
They try to,
trying to make you convert.
I live in a neighborhood that you don't have unannounced, so I get downstairs and it's this cable guy, and he's like the cable repo man. He's like, "What's up, bro?"
I need them shits.
I'm like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "I'm from Cox," and I'm like, "I know, I can read your shirt."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I don't have your service anymore." He's like, "No, but you have my cable boxes." He's like, "You're just gonna give me the boxes, no wires," and I'm like, "Bruh,
come on, man.
Y'all really came to my house to repo the cable boxes?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, I got to take them back and inventory them."
Poor guy, he's just doing his job. Why are you giving him a hard time?
I was nice to him. I'm like, "Bro, they sent you here for this?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, it's wild, huh?" And I'm like, "People have got to cuss at you a lot." And he goes, "Oh yeah."
That's his gig.
I'm like, "You're the cable repo man?"
That should be his handle.
And he goes, "Yeah."
The cable repo man.
So like I walk in, I already had the boxes set aside anyway. And I'm like, "Here you go, man." And he's like, "Yeah, the router?" I'm like, "Bruh." I'm like,
a router?
"Would you even put that back in circulation and use it?" And he goes, "No." I'm like, "Are you going to put these back in circulation?" And he goes, "Probably not." And I'm like, "What are we doing here?"
Yeah, what are we doing?
Like, what kind of like drug racket are you guys in?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, I don't know. I'm just doing the job, bro." Until time not to. Yeah.
Should have just kept your service, bro.
Fuck the cable companies.
Yeah,
bro.
honestly, fuck cable.
Talk about a racket.
Bring
them up under RICO.
You need to come over to YouTube TV.
I don't even have that right now.
Why don't you jump over on Tarcom? We'll split it 3 ways.
I have Apple TV. I got stop, cheap ass motherfuckers. I got Apple TV. I got HBO, and that's it.
You got Apple TV? What's that?
Oh, and I got Disney.
What do you watch Apple TV for?
We have Apple. Yeah, we have Apple's TV services.
Why? Because you wanted to watch all that Marvel shit.
No, it's Marvel's on Disney.
Okay.
I know you don't know how it works. I'll get you there one day. Did you haven't watched Loki yet? Either, you piece of shit.
Fuck it, I know. Fuck.
I'm never making another TV recommendation to you. I'm never telling you. Haroon, promised me we will never tell him to watch another show.
Bro,
I don't even.
Bro, we're knee deep in Love Island right now.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Come on, I'm just joking, man. Relax.
He's not.
I'm not though, but I am though. Right? I'm watching because I'm like, how is this real? Why? I'm watching just to try to understand how are people watching this. What is this?
You know, you are people, right?
No, I'm not. I'm watching because I'm frustrated.
You can't justify that you're watching it for different reasons. You're still watching it, dude.
I'm frustrated. I'm watching. I'm like, they understand that it's fake, right? This isn't love, right? Like, what are we doing here?
Getting famous, man.
No, it's not. That's not fame, bro.
That people get famous off that shit.
And like, you're getting voted off for what? Like, you got no talent. Like, what's going on here?
So you're watching Love Island. You passed up Loki to watch Love Island.
I watched 2 episodes.
Haroon, you know your sister's got him whipped, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the only excuse for this.
No,
you just love your wife and you're trying to make her happy.
She watches it on nights I go to the podcast.
No, that's not true.
And then I try to get the role. So who did what?
No, you stop. Why are you lying right now? Look, you love your wife. I respect that. I do a lot of stuff for my wife I normally wouldn't do.
I love my wife.
My wife calls me today, right? I'm on the way home. She's like, this is such a wife thing to do too. On the way home, can you stop and pick me up some flowers? And I'm like,
Can you pick me up some flowers?
I'm like, yeah, honey. I thought you don't like.
Why is he laughing?
Because he probably knows I'm an asshole. I'm like, no, bitch.
No, it's just sad that she has to ask.
Hey, fuck you. Wait till I'm going.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, don't pass judgment.
Don't pass judgment yet. For all I knew, she was making a potion.
Yeah.
So
Did it include rocks?
Wait, she said flowers and lavender. So my ears went, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Right. I'm like, baby. So I literally said, baby, please. I'm driving home. Like, I'm in the car now. I left the office. I'm like, please, babe. I don't want to base myself like a turkey again.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
It's a full moon out.
And not wash it off either.
And I'm like, I can't.
No.
I don't want to get the cold plunge dirty. Like I don't want. Please.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's not for that. I'm like, what's it for? She's like, look, I need white roses, and I need lavender. And I'm like, baby, I don't know that if I go to a grocery store, they're gonna have white roses.
Right. You're gonna have to go to a flower shop.
Or lavender, and it's late. I gotta go number 2. Like, I just want to go home, man.
Yeah.
I've been at work all day.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, just go by the grocery store. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go. So I go to the grocery store. They have like these off-white flowers. And she's like, those are good.
Yeah, those Virgil flowers.
But they didn't have any lavender,
flowers.
right? And I'm like, honey, like, they don't have lavender here in the flowers. They don't even have it in the spice section. What are we doing? She's like, don't worry about it. Just what do you think they'll have this kind of lavender? I'm like, no. I'm like, just go to the app for Albertsons, find out what they have in stock. I'm here. Just tell them what you want.
Yeah.
So I want them getting like salt, lavender salt. And she's like, oh, I'm just taking a bath. I'm like, then why didn't you just say you want to take a bath?
Right.
Candles, flowers, I'll fucking light the room up for you. You know? But like,
yeah, there you go.
Something suspicious going on here, bro.
Wait,
I don't buy it.
You think that you still don't know? You haven't figured it out?
It's a witchcraft bath.
It's a witchcraft
I'm going to get home, bro, and it's going to be...
You need to get in this bath before you come into bed?
Smell like incense and churro and shit up in my house. It's
There
just
you go.
not going to be normal.
There you go.
But look, I'm on euphoria. It's fucking rate cut day, baby.
It is rate cut day, baby.
I popped the balloon today.
Yeah, we had... People don't know. We had a Jerome Powell balloon.
There was a Jerome Powell balloon. There was a Jerome Powell balloon in my office, and every single time they increased rates, we drew something new on him. So he had like a third eye. He had like marijuana, a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah.
He had like a tattooed tear on the side of his face. I mean, he was pretty thug.
Yeah.
And he was on a Mylar balloon, and I always said that when they cut rates, we were going to pop it. And Wendy Cariello came in my office with some scissors, and as soon as they announced the rate cut, I was cheering and running around the office. She stabbed it and just shredded the shit. I mean, she got aggressive. She shredded the hell out of it.
Good for her.
Yeah, it was great. And then she left, and I realized that Neil Kashkari was still standing because we had a picture of Neil Kashkari below that because we know that Neil Kashkari is far underneath the table.
Yeah, he's lucky he's even in the same room.
Yeah, Jerome Powell's desk. So
Right.
So to be symbolic of the relationship, Jerome Powell and the Mylar balloon was on the coffee desk in my space, and then below, underneath the desk, was Neil Kashkari.
Neil Kashkari.
And I cut him up today.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah.
Damn. Good for you.
I know one day.
Today was a big day. Hopefully
Neil's
everybody
awesome.
celebrated. This episode is going to come out a week later, but hopefully they're still celebrating.
Oh, you guys should all be celebrating. The recession starting and everything, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. The rest the reason why that would be a good thing is because look, in order to get to the end, you have to start. I mean, at some point, right?
Well, look, I like to
Put
pay
a positive bow on it.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I like to pay homage to things that happened before because I think history is really important. Like most people don't know this about me, but I love to read about archaeology and history at night, Greek and Roman history, and just some of the nuances that made the cultures unique and different. I really value understanding, and I wish I'd appreciated this more when I was a kid, but now that I'm older, I love when you prior to the submersible Titanic thing anyway, I love reading about the Titanic. I love reading about sunken ships and like all those things you find and stuff like that. Just all sorts of crazy shit. So I like to look at things and go, we have these wonderful names for recessions. We have the FinTech bubble burst.
Yeah.
FinTech bubble burst. Sounds
Right.
amazing, right?
Mhm.
We have the Great Financial Crisis,
Mm-hmm.
which some people also call the Great Recession, which is to be, kind of a hearkening back to the Great Depression,
The Great
1929.
Depression, right?
I think what's happening now will probably, I think it's going to be a recession, and I think the recession will probably be labeled in a very unique way. And I just think, given what's going on in history and where we are in society, we should call it the Great Freak Off.
Yeah,
This is the Great Freak
It's
Off.
happening at the same time. We'll never forget it. This is the Great Freak Off.
This is the Great Freak Off.
Yeah. I really hope that there isn't a reacceleration of inflation for everybody's sake.
And if not, you're going to need 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Just to get through. Just to get through. Oh, man. 1,000 bottles.
1,000.
Like, nobody questioned why?
You got to, at some point, someone's got to be like, hey, FBI, there's a guy in Miami who just ordered 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Who do I refer this to?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
there's got to be some, if you have a sex crimes unit, like, isn't that like a red flag? Like, doesn't that come in hot?
I feel like this is really bad PR for all baby oil. So all companies that are selling baby oil, they need to be donating.
And you're going to tell me somebody fucking...
Or they just lost a lot of money.
Yeah, no one else is buying baby oil. Johnson & Johnson, stock's going down tomorrow.
We can go back in history and find the day that he bought it because you'll see a stock price on one of these companies. Swing! But there's so many logistics that I sit here, and again, I'm not making fun of it, making a lot of it, but there's so many things that don't make any fucking sense, okay? So I read about this whole thing, and I went into the details. So I was trying to stay away from it, and all these alerts kept coming up, more and more wild shit. So this IV thing.
That's crazy.
So
a fucking registered nurse or somebody came to your fucking house and started administering IVs and there's freak off and no one said fucking shit?
Yeah, man.
That didn't make its way to the FBI. Like, no one was like, hey, Cindy, what did you do last night? You know, I was at a Diddy house party. They called it a freak off. Everybody was fucking. Some people looked like they were passed out. And I was giving IVs to people who were so dehydrated from all this activity. But they were all lubed up in baby oil, so it was hard to get the needle into the arm.
Yeah.
But I eventually got it in, and then they went back to fucking. So it was a good night. It was a normal night.
Yeah, that story was out there.
Like, nobody asked why you need 6,000 bags of IV for a house party.
Yeah, but I feel like people get afraid, man.
And now the Carl Winslow story?
Yeah, we're not going to do. You got to look it up. We're not going to talk about it.
There's some history with
Diddy
a
and Carl
story
Winslow.
Where Diddy and the actor who played Carl Winslow, may he rest in peace, may have been caught
No,
in
he's
the
not
act.
dead. Don't kill him off. He's not
I
dead.
think he's dead.
No, you're thinking about
No.
you're thinking about Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil and the dude who played Carl Winslow.
No,
I think,
don't look that up,
No,
bro.
for sure he's passed away.
No. I've seen him in commercial
Oh,
recently.
he passed away from embarrassment when the story came out.
He's dead. Oh, fuck, man, that's sad.
Yeah, Carl Winslow. He died, right?
No, he's alive.
No, Reginald L. Johnson's dead, bro.
Present, dog.
No death date.
72 years old.
I will say he does look more gay in this photo.
Yeah.
He does like.
He does not
he
look
looks-
like the Carl Winslow that I know.
He looks very different. Yeah, he looked.
Look at this.
Is it a health issue thing? Maybe.
50 Cent shook by Diddy's rumored intimate relations with. Oh, yeah. It's getting spicy.
Wow, that's a very different look for him.
Yeah. And when the story came out, somebody caught it.
You know what? I'll always look back at Family Matters and that TV show with fond memories. I love the dude. I don't care about the rumor. I don't care about that bullshit.
I love everything about this show.
But so many of these rumors are out there.
Who's your favorite character?
Come on, man.
Don't say it. Don't say Urkel. That's easy. That's
Stefan,
easy.
bro.
Stefan.
There's only one.
Yeah, Stefan.
That whole show. That whole show got revived.
Waldo.
The whole show was revived by Stefan.
Oh yeah.
It was about ready to fall off, and when Stefan came through, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
Jaleel White, what a stud.
Yeah, you know, you would think he would have gotten more acting roles afterwards.
That's it, man. He got
Typecast.
Yeah, everyone sees him as Urkel now. That's it. That's all you can do.
I see him as Stefan.
And he was a hooper.
What?
Remember those episodes where he was like killing?
Oh, the hoop episodes. Yeah, that's right. He's a stud, bro.
He is a stud.
And you know what? So was Carl Winslow, man.
Yeah, so is Carl.
What bothers me is there's so many of these.
Oh, is that Little Richie?
Damn, Little Richie grew up to be a stud. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
God damn, bro.
Yeah, he was invited to the freak off.
Gives me hope to shave my head.
Nah, you're never gonna do that, are you?
Shave my head?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll beat you to it.
Stop.
Stop.
You gotta do all that.
What's his girlfriend's name? Lisa?
That's the main one.
No, that's Laura.
Right.
Laura was the main one.
No, Lisa, right?
Lisa's from Saved by the Bell.
Click the 10 best episodes ranked by IMDb.
10 Family Matters 10 best episodes. See if you can remember. Season 4, episode 1. Shirley.
Oh yeah, they went on American Gladiator. That's right.
Dude, apparently there's a documentary on American Gladiators. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's good, dude.
Is
Very
it?
good.
It's really good.
Good in what way?
It's kind of stunning what they were doing back then.
Are they showing you like behind the scenes of like what happened, or is it like the dark side? The dark side.
Where are they now?
Oh,
Yeah,
where are they now?
No, but it's a lot of what was going on behind the scenes,
Yeah.
like everything, like in details.
Yeah, and it was a pretty compelling time for them.
I remember being really young and like going to the TV and not really understanding. Remember that channel that showed you everything that was playing?
The Tender Kiss, Waldo. Yeah.
The Tender Kiss. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just turning on the TV and hoping like American Gladiator was on.
Presumed Urkel? Oh, this is where they tried him in the school thing. Yeah. And Myra, that was her name.
Myra. There you
Yeah.
go. Shame on me for forgetting that.
Finding the Words. Emotional episode serves to develop Harriet and Aunt Rachel's previous family with family life, whatever.
Oh yeah, remember Rachel's place,
Yeah,
the restaurant, and Urkel got jumped.
yeah. That's right. Born to be Mild, season 3, episode 9, 7.9. Go to the top one. No. I mean the number one rating.
Just go all the way to the first one. Oh man, Larry.
Oh yeah, Larry.
Larry Johnson, Grandmama. That was a great episode. Dr. Urkel and Mr. Cool. I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Walk on the Wild Side.
Don't know. Keep going.
Yeah,
all the way to the very last one.
Yeah, that was it right there.
It's beginning to look a lot like Urkel.
What?
Oh, Laura became Urkel.
Ah.
That's right. It was a holiday episode during Christmas time.
Yeah, they don't see that. Does it make you sad at all that our kids aren't gonna have shows like this to watch?
No, because they have these shows. They just have them on their own cadence.
It's not like this anymore, man. I know all the shows. I'm already plugged in. I got an 8-year-old son. They don't have shows like this anymore.
No, what bothers you is not the show. What bothers you is the fact that there isn't a set time where the family got together and sit in front of the TV and watched it together.
Yeah, no, that definitely bothers me
TGIF,
too.
bro.
Yeah, exactly. TGIF, that was great.
It was, what was it? It was Family Matters. It was
Step by Step was on the
Step by Step.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Sabrina the Teenage Witch and
God, there was so many in that circuit. There was the one with the
Suzanne Summers, that one. What was that one?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Was that Step by Step?
No.
Here you go. I didn't pull it up.
The Dinosaurs was probably before your time. I watched an episode of that. You could not. Boy Meets World was one of them for a while.
Full
Dinosaurs.
House.
Full House was on TJF.
I don't remember Boy Meets World being on there.
Yeah, Boy Meets World was there for a while.
Step by Step was with Suzanne Summers. That was that one.
Yeah.
Oh wow, man!
Damn.
See, I'm telling you, man, they don't make shit like this anymore. And like, dude, there were so many like lessons. There's so many like Boy Meets World, fucking great show.
They don't do scripted television like this anymore.
I know they're missing out. There's definitely a place for this. Where this needs to come out. I feel like kids in the '90s. I mean, you weren't a kid anymore; you were an adult. But
Mr. Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere, but kids in the '90s.
Just the 10 of us. Oh shit!
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I never really liked that show.
Why?
Yeah, I never liked that show.
You didn't like him because he was a hooper better than you.
No, I thought it was a ripoff of Coach.
Coach?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I watched the first episode of Alf. You know the kid who was the boy who was the kid in Alf? He died earlier this year of heat stroke in his car in Arizona. Him and his dog.
Oh my God.
I read that last night. Yeah.
This is what you're reading before bed, bro? What's going on?
Yeah, you should look at the news you sent me, but you've been kind of light working this week, man.
It's been a little light this week. I've been working on some stuff.
Yeah, not podcast stuff though.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bank stuff is getting crazy.
Why are you looking at me like mine?
It's yours, bro.
No, it's not mine.
This is your stuff.
I work here too, bro. I get a paycheck just like you.
Yeah, a little bit different though.
Haroon, we haven't spent a lot of time talking to you tonight, and I wanted to apologize for the two of us. It's not that we don't love you. We do. It's just that we know you're watching football back there.
It's not true, though.
It's not true. It's Wednesday.
It's not true.
Just pornography then.
just that you're not allowed to watch in Dallas.
Yeah, dude. I still don't know how to process that. I know what's gonna happen to me. Is I'm gonna be there in like a couple months, and I'll be sitting down there, and I'm gonna see that dude again, and I'll be like, "Hey, man, I got the plug for you, dog.
I got the plug. You got VPN?
Yeah. I'm gonna show you how to get online. Okay, stay anonymous.
You gotta use this VPN, dog.
Yeah. Tell them you're in Delaware.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Delaware.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Haroon, you got anything else?
I got one thing. That's hella funny.
Tell me.
I'm sure you guys saw it.
Let's see it. What we got here?
Music superstar Nikki Jam. Do you know Nikki? She's hot. Where is Nikki?
She?
Where's Nikki?
She's hot? I didn't see
Thank
this.
you, Nikki. Great to be having you here.
What is this? What
He
is
has
this?
no idea
Now
it's a
you have
dude.
to get-
No idea.
Look. Come here.
Oh, that's so awkward, dude.
She's hot. Oh my
You had no
God.
idea. You had no idea.
Latin music superstar Nikki Jam.
And the best part is Nikki Jam comes out. They didn't show it, but he comes out. He goes, "It's a pleasure meeting you for the first time ever." Like,
Yeah, I want to clarify for everybody. He must have been so embarrassed.
oh, how much did you get paid though? Come on.
Oh my God.
She's so hot, you
And,
know.
and this fool came out and was like,
Oh.
he said he hated Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
That was just
I like. What did he say? He's like, "I like Mahomes' wife more."
oh, yeah.
What the hell does that have to do with
This guy-
anything?
I didn't see that.
Downward
I
spiral,
did not
bro.
see that.
Downward. This is like, ay.
Why is Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes' wife and everybody. Like, why are you giving political opinions at all?
Why are you swaying? Why are you
Money.
swaying? Yeah, money, bro. What do you mean? Come on.
Just Jesus.
It's never ending, dog.
Talk about a freak off.
Oh, it's a free. Yeah, it is a free. This is a freak off episode.
There it is.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
titled it
Yeah, the Fed freaked off 50 basis points.
The FOMC's freak off. Sponsored by Diddy.
Oh, baby oil.
I don't know any baby oil companies. Do you?
Johnson.
It has to be Johnson. That's the only one, right? God damn. We just lost him as a sponsor.
Damn it. Thank God we have Transcend.
Yeah, exactly. Head over to transcendcompany.com/THSP. Sponsor the show. Help us out. Got anything?
Yeah, man. Happy rate cut day, everybody.
Happy rate cut day, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Fuck you, man.